The Las Vegas Raiders didn't just make a draft pick. They made a statement that could haunt every other team in the AFC for the next decade. Let me ask you something. When was the last time the Raiders made a decision at quarterback that actually made sense? Think hard. Because for years, this franchise has been a revolving door of bad choices, desperate moves, and wasted potential. Jamarcus Russell, Jason Campbell, Carson Palmer, Jimmy Garoppolo, Gardner Minshew, Aidan O'Connell. That list reads like a quarterback graveyard. But today feels genuinely different.
Fernando Mendoza y se fischeli a Las Vegas Raiders.
Selected with the number 1 overall pick. And if you think this is just another name on that long list of forgettable Raiders quarterbacks, you are sleeping on what is about to happen in Las Vegas. Let's talk about why this pick is actually a masterclass, not a mistake. The second Mendoza's name got called, social media exploded with criticism. People on Twitter were falling over themselves to call this a disaster. And honestly, that reaction tells you everything you need to know about how little those people actually watched Fernando Mendoza play football. Here's what the numbers say. The man is 6'4 3/4", weighs 236 pounds, and has arms that measure 31 7/8 inches. He checks every single physical box that NFL teams spend years praying for. You don't find that frame in a late-round flyer. You don't stumble across that athletic profile in free agency. That is a number 1 overall pick body. Full stop. But here's where it gets really interesting, because size alone means absolutely nothing if the tape doesn't back it up. And the tape is filthy. When you watch Mendoza play, one name keeps jumping into your head. Andrew Luck, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Pick one, because Mendoza plays with elements of all three. The pocket awareness, the footwork under pressure, the decision-making when the play breaks down and chaos takes over. This isn't hype. This is what you actually see when you sit down and break down the film. Now people keep bringing up Joe Burrow as a comparison point to argue Mendoza wasn't good enough coming out. But think about what Burrow had around him at LSU. He had arguably the 2 best wide receivers in college football that season. He had a spread it out, throw it everywhere offensive system built specifically to make him look like a god. Of course the numbers were insane. The situation was insane. Mendoza was at Indiana. A completely different environment. A more limited offensive system. Less talent around him. And yet, when the moments got big, fourth quarter, team down 7, season on the line, the guy delivered. Over and over again. That Indiana championship run didn't happen by accident. Mendoza willed that offense forward when it mattered most. That's what separates good college quarterbacks from future NFL starters. Not touchdowns thrown against weak defenses in a system designed to pump up your stats, but the ability to perform when everything is on the line and everyone is watching. Who do you think wins Offensive Rookie of the Year this season? Drop your pick in the comments right now. But here's the part of this story that people are completely missing. Fernando Mendoza landing in Las Vegas isn't just about Mendoza. It's about who is standing on the sideline next to him. Clint Kubiak, the new Raiders head coach. And if you don't know what this man can do with a quarterback, you need to do your homework right now. 2 years ago, Kubiak was working with Derek Carr in New Orleans. Before Carr's shoulder fell apart, those Saints were rolling. The offense was humming. Then last year, Sam Darnold, a quarterback most people had written off completely. 1 year with Kubiak calling the shots, and Darnold is hoisting a Lombardi trophy. Let that sink in for a second. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion. Because of the system, the coaching, and the scheme. Now imagine what Kubiak does with a 22-year-old quarterback who is coming in with 0 bad habits, a blank slate, and the exact physical tools that make Kubiak's offense terrifying to defend. This is not a coincidence. The Raiders didn't just draft a quarterback. They built a partnership. A head coach and a quarterback coming in together, growing together, building something from the ground up. That combination is historically dangerous in this league. But wait until you hear what this roster already has in place around Mendoza, because it might actually shock you. The Raiders' offensive foundation is stronger than you think. Start with the offensive line. Colt Miller at left tackle. Tyler Linderbaum at center. John Paul Jones at right guard. 3 players with legitimate all-pro ceilings protecting your franchise quarterback. Most teams in this league would kill for 2 of those 3. The Raiders have 3. Left guard and right tackle still need to be figured out, but the core is already there. At tight end, Brock Bowers. Full stop. One of the most dangerous weapons at that position in the entire NFL. With Michael Mayer as the backup, that tight end room is genuinely elite. And in Kubiak's offense, tight ends are not an afterthought. They are the engine. Now let's get to the wide receivers, because this is where things get spicy. The room does not look flashy right now. But here's a name you need to lock in immediately. Jack Beck. Second-round pick last season. Phenomenal Senior Bowl performance. Played in a limited system that held his numbers back. Now imagine Beck in Kubiak's offense, running precise routes, getting targeted on designed plays, with a smart quarterback who can actually put the ball where only Beck can catch it. There is a very real world where Jack Beck becomes a top 20 receiver in this league. Think Cooper Kupp-type production. Consistent, reliable, dangerous. Trey Tucker and Jalen Nailor round out the group. Tucker brings the deep speed that opens everything underneath. Nailor can run real concepts, digs, posts, intermediate routes that stress defenses. And with Kubiak loving his two tight end packages, defenses are going to have a nightmare trying to figure out who to take away. The running back room needs work. Ashton Duarte is a genuinely good back, but the depth behind him is thin right now. That is something the Raiders can and should address with their remaining draft picks. Here's the bigger picture that nobody wants to admit. General Manager John Spyc came into Las Vegas and made a decision that was unpopular at the time. He let key defensive players walk. He reset the salary cap. He ate one painful losing season on purpose to set up this exact moment. This was not an accident. This was a calculated rebuild executed at a speed that almost never happens in this league. 1 year of pain. A clean cap. The best head coach available. The number 1 overall pick. 9 additional draft picks still on the table. The Raiders are not rebuilding anymore. They are building. And here is the thing about young quarterbacks winning Super Bowls that history keeps proving over and over again. It almost always happens on a rookie contract. The window is open right now. The pieces are falling into place right now. The coaching is elite right now. Do not sleep on the Las Vegas Raiders. Fernando Mendoza walks into an NFL locker room for the first time with no bad habits to unlearn, no broken mechanics to fix, no outdated concepts burned into his brain from years of being coached wrong. He is a clean canvas. And Clint Kubiak is one of the best painters in the business. This franchise has been searching for its answer at quarterback for over a decade. Through bad picks, desperate signings, and years of watching other teams build dynasties while Las Vegas spun its wheels. That era is done. The Raiders have their guy. They have their coach. They have their plan. Don't be shocked when Las Vegas is standing in the middle of a confetti storm 2 or 3 years from now. Because right now, today, everything is pointing in exactly that direction. The Raiders are back. And this time, it's for real.